Can you hear me all right in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. So before I get started, I wanted to ask a quick question. Raise your hand if you've ever taken a class in math, English, science, history? Great. Now raise your hand if you've ever taken a class on managing stress, recognizing anxiety, and knowing how to help a peer struggling. Interesting. One of the most important skills we'll ever need to know in our lives is one we're rarely taught. That seemed backwards to me. After all the world's best systems are the ones that prevent the problem or teach us how to deal with it before the moment that matters comes. Like, for example, we practice fire drills before a fire, we wear seatbelts before a crash, we learn how to swim before we're pushed into the water. But when it comes to mental health, we do it the opposite way. We wait till someone's in crisis, dealing with anxiety or burnout, and then we teach the skills. Imagine if you learn how to swim after you're drowning. That's not prevention, that's reaction. It may seem ridiculous, but the mental health systems set in place right now function exactly like this. So that made me wonder, what if we're asking the wrong question? Instead of asking, what can we do to help our teenagers in crisis, what if we asked, what can we do to help them before crisis ever begins? That's the difference between reaction and prevention. I didn't come to this question through research. I arrived at this question through my own personal experiences. In 2019, at 9 years old, my family and I moved from Ireland to the US. In a new country, a school, a culture, I struggled to fit in. I experienced panic attacks, anxiety, stress, loneliness. Even my accent felt like I stood out in classrooms. I couldn't describe what I was feeling, and even felt helpless in situations where breathing felt difficult and sharp. I looked around in the classroom and saw every one of my peers smiling and laughing and having fun. That made me feel like I was alone. Was it a problem that I felt emotions other than just happy? But eventually, I learned coping skills, breathing techniques, stress management tools, and how to ask for help. They didn't make all the challenges that I went through on a daily basis go away, but they gave me something I didn't have before. They gave me a way to navigate those challenges. They made me wonder, why wasn't I taught these skills before I truly needed them? Why don't we learn mental health and how to help our peers before we're in crisis and there's no support out there? That excitement and that passion to make sure that my peers don't go through what I went through turned into the foundation for everything that came later. But before I could build something, before I could help my peers, I had to understand, how can I make my mission, my values into a preventative approach, not just reactive? And I believe that starts with 3 simple steps. The first one being awareness. By understanding what the different strategies are that can help you in different circumstances, how you can help your peers, you're going to be better equipped and prepared. You can't identify the emotions that you don't understand and recognize. I personally feel like all of us should know how to help our peers struggling, how to identify our emotions, and how to know what to do when we're stressed, just as confidently as we know the Pythagorean theorem or photosynthesis. By normalizing these conversations and educating ourselves, that can lead us into the second step of empowerment. By learning the importance of being able to support our friends and being empowered with those skills, they're not just crisis skills, they're life skills. And life skills should be taught before life tests us. And finally is action. It's about creating a community where people feel like it's okay to talk, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be at times asking for help, and that it's not a weakness. This is not a revolution or movement that counselors alone can build. It's something that all of us together have to work on. Knowledge doesn't change the world, it's the people who fight for it that do. So now that I knew how to be preventative and those steps to take, I didn't just want to sit there knowing an idea, I wanted to build it. In 2022, at 13 years old, I published the first teen-to-teen mental health book, an international bestseller sharing my own personal story in hopes of helping others out there who are experiencing struggles just like me in isolation. I organize city and community fairs to support my peers in their classrooms in their lives struggling. I published the emotion cards deck at 14. I created an online hub called Nexus to help my peers find a one-stop shop for mental health. I appeared on national media every month sharing my experiences in order to help others. And this year I hosted Washington State's first ever teen-led mental health summit. Through the past 5 years, in my passion and the work that I've done, I've impacted millions of youth globally. But it's not the numbers that matter, it's what it proves. Young people don't have to wait to become a part of the solution. They can become designers in prevention. Imagine this, before you graduate, what if we learned, just like we learned chemistry, we learned how to help our peers. Just like we learned physics in school, we learned what to do and how to ask for help when we're struggling. Instead of history, or in addition to history, we learned what can we do when we're stressed and what can help us in those circumstances. The future of mental health isn't about being a great rescuing platform for students in their mental health after the crisis or during it. It's about building systems and putting them in place, preparing youth before crisis ever begins. Every lasting change that we see in society today is because someone chose not to wait. And in this room today, I believe that someone is us. Feel free to follow my Instagram if you want to support this mission and help the millions of youth out there who are struggling with their mental health. And thank you so much for the opportunity.